buddy. So we're going to quickly go through how to create a repository and how to push to GitHub. And then also we'll go through kind of the regular flow from here on out of when you make a change, how to push these changes up to GitHub and stuff like that. And so the first thing right off the back is that I'm in my week 3 folder. I know that because I can see right here in my terminal, it says week 3. If for whatever reason I was outside of it, this is not what level or where I would want to be. I want to make sure that I'm exactly in the folder that I want to be in. So for example, for me, I want to be in this week 3 folder. For you guys, obviously it'll be something else. So from here, the next thing I'm going to do is I want to check, is this folder already a repository? And so with what I'll do to check that is if I type in git status, it says fatal, not a Git repository. Perfect. So we can clearly see that this is not a Git repository, which is exactly what we want. And so from here, so now the next thing to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to GitHub. I'm going to go to my browser. I'm going to go here to github.com/new, or you could click this create new repository. From here, you guys would leave yours on whatever your profile is, but for me, I'm going to change it to the classes account, which is live July 2025. And then for the repository name, I'm going to make it exactly what it is on my computer. Technically, you don't have to make it exactly what it is, but I think for simplicity and to make sure everything matches up, I'm going to change this to be exactly. And that's my recommendation for you guys. And so I can just go here, I can copy that, go back, paste that in. Cool, week 3 is available. The other thing, I'm going to make this public. By default for you guys, it should be public, so you guys shouldn't have to worry about this. Basically, there's no reason for me to make this private. Basically, private means that it's only you are going to be able to see it. And so as soon as I did that, I'm going to leave everything else the same, and now I'm going to click create repository. Perfect. And so it's going to bring me to this screen. And so from here, I'm creating a new repository. So I'm specifically going to grab these commands right here, which says or create a new repository on the command line. Because if we remember, this is not a repository. And so that's exactly why I know which command to use. And so I'm going to use this one. I'm just going to click the copy button right there. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to paste that in. And now I'm going to click enter. Perfect. And so now to know that this is a Git repository or to test it out, I can go git status and we can see no longer are we getting that fatal not a Git repository because now this is a repository and it has been pushed up. So now if I go back here, refresh the page, perfect. We see the README and technically it's only the README that's here because technically in the command that we ran right here, the only thing we added was the README. And we can see that there's 2 files here that are untracked. What it means by untracked is that these 2 files are here locally, but they're not up on GitHub. The README is something that is here locally and was pushed up, which is exactly why the README is not showing up here as untracked. And again, that's why we see only the README here. Perfect. So the next thing I can do is if I wanted to add a specific file, let's say I only wanted to add error handling. So I can go git add, and then I'm going to go error handling. And then I would click enter. And so now, actually, if I do a git status, we can see I have 1 file that is staged and ready to be committed and 1 file that's untracked. The one that's staged is the one that I added, where I did git add error handling. The one that isn't is the one that I didn't touch. And so you can basically add specifically a specific file, or the other thing you can do is you can go git add space period. And so period is going to add everything. But I just want to say be careful when using add period. Excuse me, because as we get into more complex things, there's going to be times where you don't want to push up all your code. And so what if you only want to push up 1 file? What if the other changes that you have aren't ready to be pushed up yet? And so that's where to be careful with it. And in the future, you'll probably want to use this a little bit more than this git add period. Just because, again, what if you don't want to push up all your code? But for this scenario, I don't mind pushing all my code. So I'm going to do git add period. Cool. Now if I do a git status, we can see the status has changed. And so I have 2 files that are ready to be committed. They're staged. And so now I can do my commit message. So I'm going to go git commit -m. And then I'm going to put some quotes. And then I'm going to, whatever my commit message is, I'm going to say add practice 1 and error handling practice. Basically what those files are. I'm gonna do now. Finally, if I do a git status, we can see now I want you guys to kind of pay attention to the different statuses as it's going through. And so now from here, when I do a git status, it says your branch is ahead of origin main by 1 commit, which basically means that locally my computer has a commit that GitHub does not have up online. So now I can just go git push. Finally, if I do one more git status, cool. Everything's up to date. Perfect. So now if I go back to GitHub and I refresh the page, now we can see here's the code that I just added. And we see I have 2 commits. We have the first commit, which added the README. And then we have my second commit, which is what we just pushed up just now, which has all of that stuff that we just did yesterday, actually. Perfect. And so that's how you create a repository and push your code up. And so from here on out, if I was to make more changes to this repository and want to push those changes up, the way it's going to work is, let's say I make some changes. I'm going to do like puts hello class, for example. And so now if I go here and do a git status, we can see my repository has a change. I modified a file basically. And so I have to add and commit this code. So I can go git add practice1, git commit -m, hello class. I can say added hello class, and then I can go git push. Now if I do a git status again, we see everything is up to date. Perfect. And if I go here, refresh the page, we have our extra commit, our third commit that we just added that said hello class. Perfect. And so this is going to be the flow, the rough flow of how you're going to be handling these situations. You're going to make some change after you've created the repository. You're going to make some changes. You're going to add it. You're going to commit it right here. You're going to add, commit, and then you're going to push it. And you're just going to continuously repeat that process over and over and over as you're working on whatever it is you're working on. Cool. Thank you all. There are definitely other ways to do it, but I think this is the simplest way. And so yeah, thank you guys. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to reach out and we can help you out with that.